Alright lads, real quick before the video starts, well, not really, this is the video, it's going to be my settings, but I'm obviously going to put in some nice gunfight gameplay in the background, well, not in the background, after the video, okay, get that shit out of the way. Going diving in, I just want to let you know, I did this for a subscriber, you know who you are, you know what the deal was, man, you know what the deal was. I had a deal with him that I made this, he hit that sub button, but that's up to him if he wants to do that or not, but either way, it's still a good video idea, and I actually want to thank him for giving me that idea, because now I get to provide a bit of value, okay? And for people that don't know what to do with their settings, okay? I'm coming from a person who's been getting better at the game over the last few months. I've been taking it more serious, practicing my aim, and what I'm about to tell you, you might know, you might not know, but I can just tell you for sure that all this information is 100% because I've done my research into it for myself, so I'm not going to lie to you guys, okay? Mouse sensitivity starting off for me 6.0, and that's with 400 DPI, so that's a pretty low sensitivity. You can work out the eDPI if you want. It's pretty low. I know Shroud plays 7.5. If you don't know who Shroud is, man, what are you doing watching this? Shroud's the GOAT, man. He's the best aimer alive, in my opinion. The best, like aimer alive. That still is like a YouTuber, a streamer. There's probably people that have a way better aim than him, and they don't even stream right like that, so you'll never know about them. But to me, Shroud is just all around a very good player, but his aim is just exceptionally well. No matter what he plays, he can just adapt like a monster, okay? Anyway, 6.0 with 400 DPI, that's a very low. I would go as low as you can. Okay, not too low, obviously you don't want to be fucking, well, you could say I'm too low, and in hindsight, in the long run, that's a way too low sensitivity. I should be up on 7 or 8, to be honest. But I'm able to control it. I'm still able to have good mobility, because believe it or not, the lower you go with your sensitivity, the shitter your mobility will be. So let's say you're running in Warzone, you're in Superstore and you're getting shot in the back. It's going to take you way longer to flick around, lock onto him on a low sensitivity, because obviously it's not as fast, so you have to do more hand movement, okay? And the only reason I'm on such a low sensitivity is because I'm using a Model O with the G skates on a very nice mouse mat. It's very thin, if you get me. So the mouse is really light, so my arm isn't getting fatigued. If you've like a Logitech G402, G902, I have no clue, man. You know the fucking heavy thing all the pros use. I can't stand that mouse. It's very heavy. It's a good mouse. I'm not taking away from the fact that it's not a good mouse, but it's just very heavy. So if you're playing low sensitivity, you are gonna have a cramp in your arm at some point throughout the day, because your arm's just going to be in bits from lugging around that heavy mouse. So maybe bump your sensitivity up a bit. Depends on the mouse, first of all, your DPI, and make sure you're on 1000 hertz polling rate. That's very important. That means you're getting 1000, basically like 1000 frames in your mouse a second. That's basically what it is. The camera on the bottom of your mouse, the sensor, will pick up and send 1000 images back to the computer. So you want that high to make sure you're getting a nice feedback, okay? Obviously, I've all these on 1, okay? I'm playing relative. If you're playing legacy, I would say stay legacy. But if you're still just floating around between the two, I'll explain them right now. Legacy is going to be shit for someone trying to get consistent aim. That's why a lot of the pros are using relative. Legacy basically means you're using a pistol, it's going to have a different sensitivity than your AR. Your AR is going to have a different sensitivity than your MP5. Your MP5 is going to have a different sensitivity than the MP7. Every gun will have a different sensitivity. When you snipe, it's going to feel awkward because it's not the same as your M4, and you'll be using the M4 more in a game, if that makes sense. It's just going to throw your muscle memory around. And then, like, let's say you use the M4 for, like, let's just say for some reason you're using the M4 for 2 weeks flat, and then it gets another nerf. You don't want to play with the M4 anymore. You go to the MP7, all your muscle memory with the M4 is gone. Now, even though it's only a slight difference, it can still throw you around a good bit, okay? And obviously, pros will always say the more consistent, the better. But relative, no matter what gun you use, no matter what scope you use, it's going to be the same sensitivity. I forgot to say in Legacy, actually. If you rock like a VLK one day, and then you put on the Corp Combat Holo, it's not the same sensitivity. So even when you're experimenting, that's going to affect. Like, you could be using the Corp Combat Holo, and you're like, man, this gun is shit. Then you swap to the VLK, and you're like, this gun is shit. That's because the sensitivity is different and you can't hit your shots. It's not the gun. See? So it can affect different things. Whereas if relative, every single gun, sniper, everything, well, obviously if you have your low zoom, set up right, no matter what, it's gonna be the same sensitivity. You use a pistol, it's gonna be the same sensitivity as a sniper. You use a M4, it's gonna be the same sensitivity as a shotgun, as long as you're ADS, obviously. Okay. In advanced, I play low zoom 1.0, high zoom 1.0. That's just because I'm on such a low hipfire that I can't really go any lower. So I don't mind that. But I would say if you're playing on at an 8 now, I'm 400 DPI, so make sure you convert that, okay? So if you're on 800 DPI, you'd be playing 4. Or if you're on 400 DPI like me, 8. I would put this at 50%. If that makes sense. So it's half of your ADS. It's a half of your hipfire, so you have a lot more precision because, I don't know, I'm just playing very low here. I feel as if it's not really worth me going any lower because at that point it's just going to be hard to track, hard to flick, and if I have to make a very, very hard shot, like someone that's basically off screen and flick to them, like a 90-degree flick, it's very hard to pull off, okay? So, I have tried with it on 0.5 before. I used to play 8 with 0.5, but I just swapped it up because this feels more consistent for me. And I did actually used to play instant with that sensitivity, and I swapped to gradual. I would never recommend using after zoom. Obviously, if you're on after zoom right now and you've got good muscle memory, don't swap off it, obviously, because this will affect your muscle memory. I like gradual because it doesn't stop you straight away. It slows it down. It gives you a nice kind of breather, if you will. Whereas if this is just as soon as you click that mouse button, your sensitivity slowed down. And as if this, it's basically like someone literally pulling the handbrake and then someone slowing down to stop. That's the two differences. So someone's like a hard brake and this one slows down. If that makes sense. That could be a weird way of wording it. Obviously, you want to play with your monitor coefficient on 1.33 if you have a 16:9 screen monitor. And obviously, look for different coefficient numbers depending on your screen monitor ratio. So you can just look that up, like monitor distance coefficient, and then put in your thing in Google. You'll get it straight away. And I don't want to give you the information for that because that's something I don't know about, and I will never give you something I don't know about. I just know that 1.33 is for 16:9, and that's what I'm going with. Obviously all these off. Sorry boys, a little bit of crown in the chest right now. Sorry for that, boys. No, I don't have crown. I'm only messing. Invert mouse look disabled. 0 disabled. Okay. Don't want any of these on. Trust me, they will mess your shit up. I don't suppose you just want my binds as well. I'll do a little quick little glance through them. Obviously, I like sliding to tap because I'm on keyboard and mouse. I don't like holding. Prone behavior toggle, crouch behavior toggle. I have them set up so it's like a controller. So you press the one button, like let's say for me right now it's control. So I tap control, I crouch. When I'm running, if I tap control, I slide. And then if I hold control, I'll go prone. I very much like that. You can set that up. I have tactical sprint as toggle, so I have that again set up. So my normal sprint button, we sprint, and then when I double tap it, I go tactical sprint. I don't like automatic sprint because my friend actually used this, and when he takes off, when a whole Origin meta was out, he would just push forward, go sprinting, and he'd have the shotgun out. And when you sprint with some shotguns, well, every gun does it, but shotguns really hit bad. You're gonna press the trigger and it'll be like a second later and then it shoots. It has very bad, it's what's known as sprint to fire time, so you don't want to be doing that too much, okay? So that's why I have it off, because I heard his rumors. Obviously you want parachute auto deploy on. I would not recommend putting hold to use on because it's going to take ages. There's just a quick look at my binds. Weapons and equipment. You can obviously slow this down or pause it. I'll go as slow as I can. I just don't want to really, obviously these are just like that. I don't want to take too much long doing this shit, because a lot of you people might not be here for this. You might just be here for the gameplay. Obviously I'll have snap points if you just want to just skip, but for the people that do want to get all the binds, I'm going to show you them obviously. I'll show you fucking everything because I'm going to go. Field of view, obviously that's kind of important to 100. So it's very consistent, it's in between, and obviously I play independent because I really like that zoom. That will affect your sensitivity. Don't change your FOV because it's going to adjust your sensitivity. So don't be, oh, I'm not feeling it this day, higher it up. I'm not feeling this looks weird, lower it down. Don't be doing that. It's going to mess your sensitivity. I don't know, I was experimenting with 1010. I seen a video J God did with this, and basically it's like just your hood, basically it squeezes it in, but I don't know, depends how the viewers like it. I personally love it because I can feel so much, I'm on a monitor anyway, but everything feels so much closer. I don't have to be spazzing my eyes around the screen. It's there to look at. I have this is handy, skip introduction movie. You don't have to even watch through the intro every time. I used to use Deuteronope, but Deuteranopia, but I figured out I could use NVIDIA like control panel to get better graphics and make the game look really, really clean, so I did that. Minimap obviously square. This is if I'm taking too long to go through this, boys, but I'll keep going. Graphics real quick. I usually play full screen, but just for the sake of recording this, I'm playing full screen borderless. If you can play full screen, just go for it, man. It gives you better input delay. There you go. I'll go back up it. We are out of here, right? Audio, if you just want a quick look at it. But I want to show you this gameplay because it was fucking dope. Alright? I'm out of here. Obviously, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it, man. Thank you for taking time out of your day to look at these settings. You know, I appreciate it. I know the user are enjoying the information. If you have any video ideas, just let me know below. Bottom right, you can see the wolf logo. Tap that, you're subscribed. Don't even need to click off the video. Leave me some constructive criticism in the comments. I always appreciate that shit. Anybody who does do it. And enjoy the gameplay. It's some nice gunfight. I'm out of here, okay?